Hi, I'm Brian Dipert, Editor-in-Chief of the Embedded Vision Alliance, and I'm here today with Jon Cropley, Principal Analyst at IMS Research. Hi, Jon.
Hi, Brian.
So when I say I'm here with, I mean figuratively, actually, not literally this time. Usually in the interviews that I conduct, the person who I'm speaking with is sitting right next to me. Today, Jon's actually over in the UK. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here in my snowy home office at 7,000 feet in the middle of the Sierra Nevada mountains, and we're conducting this interview via Skype in conjunction with high-def webcams and our broadband pipes. So we thought we'd give this a shot as a means of getting more content up on the site more quickly, even when Jon and I aren't in the same area code or time zone. So let me know what you think of this format and how we can maybe do a better job in future interviews, because we plan to make this a series. So today's talk is titled An Introduction to the Market for Embedded Vision in Security and Business Intelligence Applications. And since this is my first time on Skype with Jon, I thought maybe we'd begin with Jon giving an overview first off, if you would, of your professional and your personal, or your professional and your educational background, how you got to be where you are now at IMS.
Sure. Well, I joined IMS Research around 10 years ago. And before that time, I worked for a major supplier of automotive safety systems, predominantly driver assistance systems.
Okay.
I've spent most of my time with IMS Research working in its automotive group, and during that time I developed an interest for how embedded vision was being used in automotive applications like drowsiness detection and collision mitigation.
Okay.
So as IMS Research has a number of different areas that it works within, around a year ago I decided to move into a different group and look at how embedded vision is being used in security and business intelligence applications.
Okay. So how long have you been with IMS Research in total?
It's been about 10.5 years now.
Okay. Okay. Tell the audience, if you would, basically who IMS Research is, if you don't mind, and what their primary areas of focus are.
IMS Research is a business that focuses on market intelligence, so it provides market research, consultancy, also organises conference on electronics-related subjects.
Okay.
So I mentioned two of the areas that we're involved in a moment ago: security services and automotive. We're also involved in medical, wireless communications, power and energy, to name just a few application areas.
Okay. And as the viewers of this video may or may not already know, IMS Research is one of the few, the proud, the platinum members of the Embedded Vision Alliance. Jon, can you talk a bit about what it was about the Embedded Vision Alliance in general that was appealing to IMS in terms of becoming involved, and what particularly being a platinum member of the Embedded Vision Alliance gives IMS Research?
Well, I think both the Embedded Vision Alliance and IMS Research are organisations, independent organisations, that provide information on this area of embedded vision. The Embedded Vision Alliance looks at the technical side of things and provides a platform for people to discuss technical issues, whereas IMS Research investigates the market opportunities and the size of the market. So by joining with the Embedded Vision Alliance, companies that have an interest in this area have just one place to go to, and also it helps us stay informed of technical issues by liaising with the Embedded Vision Alliance, and hopefully we provide you with kind of developments in the market as well.
And you certainly do. Okay, great, thanks. You mentioned for the last year or so you've been specifically focused on security applications. And it's something I think about every time I go in a convenience store and I see, usually an analog video, glorified camcorder stuck up in the corner, feeding a VCR. So, surveillance and security is something that's been around for a while and has actually been, in the consumer space, for lack of a better word, or the broad market for a while, but historically he's used pretty archaic technology. Can you talk about embedded vision specifically in security and surveillance applications and what the trends are there?
Yeah, sure. I think it's predominantly known in the security space as video content analysis or analytics. And this is where live or recorded video is analysed to detect predefined behaviours or objects. When something is detected, an alert is typically provided to security personnel.
Okay, because that is the issue, isn't it? You end up historically with hours and hours and hours worth of taped footage, the vast majority of which you just really don't care about. Nothing happens or nothing important happens, and the point is to get to the information that you care about quickly and concisely.
That's right. And, kind of man surveillance, no matter how intently somebody looks at video surveillance monitors, they're likely to miss something, particularly when there's a lot of monitors to look at. So if you can provide some kind of automatic alert through intelligent video, then that is a useful aid to man surveillance.
So what different types of security applications are offered, both in perhaps traditional security and surveillance markets as well as new emerging ones? You and I have discussed over email before, for example, just the explosion of consumer-targeted security and surveillance applications that appeared at January's Consumer Electronics shows. Everything from traditional front door monitoring services to baby cams and all sorts of things.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that kind of you were talking about the front door surveillance kind of thing. Well, that kind of intrusion detection is still a very popular application, and there are lots of different examples of that, both indoors and outdoors. Some real advanced perimeter detection applications. So if an unauthorized individual enters a perimeter, they might be climbing over, say, a power station wall or something like that. Then an automatic notification is provided to security personnel.
Okay. How about in business intelligence? What sort of applications specifically do you track in that area?
There's quite a lot of applications emerging. In some cases, these are tailored from the security area. So a security algorithm that's been developed is loitering, looking for people who are sort of spending too much time in one particular area. But that can be used in a business intelligence purpose to detect interest, because a person sort of spending a lot of time at one particular part of a store, it's usually an indication that they're interested in a product. Therefore, you can automatically alert sales personnel to go assist that individual. But there's plenty of other examples. People counting is one. You can even provide automatic analysis of queue lengths. So when a queue becomes particularly long, additional sales staff are put on the tills to assist with them.
Okay, and flashing back to Minority Report, you add in facial detection and recognition, and soon we'll be at the point where it will not only say, "Hello, you look interested in the product, would you like a coupon?" but it's, "Hello, Jon Cropley, you look interested in the product, would you like a coupon? And can I show you something else that from your past shopping habits you might be interested in too?"
Absolutely, it's all possible.
So something that you and I have discussed before quite a bit over email is the back and forth. Where does the analytics intelligence reside? Is it in the camera? Is it in the server attached to an array of cameras? Is it in both places? Can you talk about that, particularly in the markets that you track?
Yeah, sure. In the security market, it's in both areas. So sometimes it's simply on software that's on a PC that's connected to a camera. But in a lot of occasions, it's actually the software is in a processor or a DSP that's embedded in the actual camera or the surveillance device in question. So it can be both.
Okay. Is there a trend towards more intelligence and analytics capability at the edge? And if so, how does that factor into everything that you and I are working on together with the Embedded Vision Alliance?
There is a trend. I think the algorithms that are out there are being constantly refined so that they require less processing power. But at the same time, the power of the processors that are being used is constantly increasing. So those two kind of complementary trends mean that more and more algorithms can actually be implemented at the edge. And there are applications now. You mentioned face detection as an example. Well, a few years ago it was very difficult to do that as a server-based solution. Now it's becoming possible to do that at the edge.
Okay, and of course it's not just the processors. That's an important piece, but the image sensors are becoming more low light sensitive and higher in resolution. Memory is becoming cheaper, so the whole kit of silicon parts and the software that accompanies them are becoming much more robust in the camera itself than used to be the case. I saw a write-up a couple of weeks ago from a recent AMD Analyst day where somebody embedded basically an entire PC, which used to be at the other end of the Ethernet cable, within the camera, with very little incremental size and weight and power consumption to just the camera itself. It's really amazing where things are going. So the market that the business intelligence market that you track, how large is it, and how does it subdivide?
We do provide an analysis of business intelligence separately, but within the report we also look at business intelligence together with security. So if you're looking for those embedded devices we were talking about before, we call them intelligent video surveillance devices. We're predicting that the market will grow from around $200 million in 2010 to around $600 million in 2016.
Okay, and how about the broader market, including dumb cameras tied to servers? Do you have any information on that, and how big it is, and how big it, how it's growing?
We do, yes. I don't have that with me today, but we provide quite a lot of information on that as well.
Okay, we'll add that to the list for our next chat.
Yep, sure.
How about, tell me about applications that tend to be sort of bundled for free with the cameras versus value-added extra applications, and how that is evolving over time.
Well, that's a good point, actually, because in the security market, an increasing trend is to offer lower intelligence applications for free. So for some time now, things like motion detection and camera tamper detection have been embedded within products from video surveillance manufacturers for no additional charge. We anticipate that other algorithms will increasingly be offered for no additional charge in the future. So that kind of those figures that I gave you before, the $200 million moving to $600 million, they don't actually include that free analytics. So from the semiconductor manufacturer's point of view, there are even more cameras that are going to have some kind of intelligence out there.
Okay. And do the applications tend to come from the same supplier that supplies you with the camera, or is there a third-party software market emerging either in the business space, or I'm aware of a couple of examples in the consumer space, and I wonder if it's in the business as well, where a third party will write software that works with several different camera manufacturers' hardware?
Yes, that also happens in the security market. There are one or two suppliers. At the same time, there are also video surveillance manufacturers that are developing algorithms themselves.
Okay. So more generally, in the space, whether it be software, hardware, or the combination of the two, is the market dominated by a few large suppliers, or is it pretty diversified with a larger number of smaller suppliers? And how do you think that that's going to evolve as time goes on?
I think there's two different. I think the answer is different for whether the software is embedded or whether it is provided through a PC-based solution. I think when it comes to the embedded software, those intelligent video devices, there is likely to be some consolidation in that market in the future. I mean, both markets are very fragmented at the minute, so if you look at those intelligent video surveillance devices, around 2/3 of the market is served by the top 10 suppliers, and only one of those those suppliers has got a market share greater than 10%. So it is a fragmented market. The market for the software as well, the PC-based software, that's also fragmented, and we don't anticipate much consolidation in that market. Whereas when it comes to the video surveillance market in general, there is perhaps more incentive for consolidation, more economies of scale to be gained from bigger manufacturers.
Okay, so why the difference between the two? Why do you think that the business market will remain fairly fragmented, whereas the broader market will consolidate?
I think it's when it comes to the broader video surveillance market, the companies that are producing the video surveillance equipment. It isn't just a question of analytics there. There are, they're providing general video surveillance, and I think there are reasons why and incentives for why it makes sense for them to merge together. Whereas when it comes to the analytics market, those software suppliers, there isn't as much benefit to be gained from having a larger analytics supplier, we've found.
Okay, and it's obvious after you answer the question. You see this a lot in the broad market. Economies of scale do tend to drive consolidation, whereas in targeted vertical niches, the functions required are more specialized, and there is less to be gained from economy of scale because there isn't the scale that there is in the broader market. So that makes a lot of sense. So I think you've exhausted my list of questions for today, actually. Is there anything else on this topic that you wanted to make sure that we covered this time around?
I don't think so. I think we've gone through all of the areas. It'll be interesting to explore them in greater depth in future calls. So thank you very much today, Brian. Okay. That's really good.
I appreciate it. And for the viewers of this video, as I mentioned, Jon and I do plan to make this an ongoing series, and not just with Jon, but also certainly with other IMS research analysts that cover other areas in which embedded vision plays. So I do very much welcome your feedback, either on topics that we did cover today or on additional topics that you'd like us to cover in the future, and that'll help guide our agendas for future sessions of this sort. So, Jon, thank you very much for our time today, and those of you out there viewing this, thanks for your time in watching this video. Please do check out the other content, video and otherwise, available on the Embedded Vision Alliance website, and we'll keep checking back as we do plan to have more material up on an ongoing basis. Thanks. Have a good day.
You too.